Thank you.
We have Jasmine Garcia, the best dancer out here in Miami.
Hey, I thank you.
Repping the city, repping the home team.
305.
We've known each other for years. Some people may not know. I literally saw you grow up from elementary school. And I've seen you grow up to be an extremely motivated hustler out here doing whatever you have to do to just accomplish your goals. I remember I saw you, we hadn't seen each other in years, like after high school, and then I randomly run into you, and I think it was at Chico Malo in Doral, and you told me that you actually just did a transition to basically 100% be dedicated to dancing, and I thought that was amazing. And then I continue to follow your journey. You have not stopped. Your foot is always on the gas, no brakes, which I respect and appreciate. And that's why you're here in the Miami Hustle.
Thank you. No, yeah, it was a tough decision because I didn't leave my healthcare job. I was in healthcare and I was living a double life for a long time. Like, I didn't leave because I wasn't happy. It wasn't like one of those, I'm finally done with this, I'm leaving. No, my heart was really in it. But I just knew I really wanted to see where I could go in dance, and just if I went all in. I didn't want to live with the what if. I didn't want to. I want to say, you know what? At the end of the day, I went as far as I did with healthcare. I know I'm capable of this. Why can't I just have this energy and apply it to my craft? At the end of the day, and dance is not just dance. Let me see where else I can go with this. And it's going further than that. So it's not just dance. It's like, okay, now I'm opening up my business, the company. I'm giving opportunity to other people. So what else in dance can you do? Okay, you edit videos. You connect with people. Like, it's more than just, I can dance.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Many
so much more.
Many people don't know that, though. I'm not too aware of the dance community. I know it's alive and strong, and I know it's full of a bunch of hustlers that are doing what they love and they're following their passion. So I respect all the dancers out there for sure, and it's not an easy thing to do. But how long have you been dancing?
So I wasn't a studio baby, so I didn't grow up dancing. I was not a studio baby. My parents did not put me in any studios of dance. They didn't really agree with dancing.
Want you to dance?
Not at all. They saw that I had rhythm.
As a kid, I feel like as a girl growing up, it's every girl wants to be a dancer.
Yeah, but I don't know what it was. They wanted me to really focus on my studies. They put me in ballet classes, in belly dancing, but it wasn't any like competition. Like, I wasn't a studio baby in competition and working on my technique. It was literally just, okay, let this girl like dance her heart out. Let her get her energy out, and that's it. They saw it like a little hobby. Yeah. But it was something that I really loved from a young age. I had rhythm. I loved to move to the music. And then going into middle school, I was in my middle school dance team. And then in high school, I was in my high school dance team. And then I just loved being part of a team. I loved cultivating discipline. Along with being on dance team in like high school and in middle school, they're also on top of your grades. So on top of the fact that you are disciplined in your craft, in dance, and you're athletic, they also make sure that they focus on your grades. So it was a win-win too for my parents, me being in studies. It's like kind of being in sports when you're, it's the same thing. Like, you have to focus on your studies. So after high school, I kept my foot in the door with dance. I kept going to dance classes after. I kept my networking. I would do extra roles in music videos and grow my network and, just dance here and there for artists or whenever I had the opportunity. But it got to a point where I was in demand, but there was more being asked of me in dance, and it came to the point where I had to make a choice, and I finally made the choice to just leave my healthcare job after.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's like what Steve Harvey says. He says you just have to jump.
That's it.
Yeah. That's a big jump. That's a big leap of faith. And how did your parents feel about that jump? Because you told me that at first they didn't really want you in dance, and now you're here like completely pursuing dance.
Yeah. So at first, they were a little scared for me, but they saw it like she's gonna be fine. She has a backup plan, because I technically did. I got my associates, my bachelor's, my master's in health management. Like, I had all these degrees. I had this experience in healthcare. I was like working in healthcare for 7 years. I was a supervisor in this hospital and everything. And then I left. So then they were like, okay, well, she still has this cushion. She still has her degree. She still has her experience. Whenever she wants to go back, she can. And it's like, no, at the end of the day, when you have a plan B, it's because you're not going all in on plan A. Like there should only be one plan and that's it. And it took me a while to understand that. It took a lot of reading, personal development, surrounding myself with those like-minded people, because it was at home. I didn't have parents who thought that way of a plan A. They were those plan B type parents. I had to learn, leaving. I had to surround myself with like-minded people and be like, am I doing the right thing? And I had to make sure that once I jumped, I had to first make sure, girl, you're not going to look back. And then second, look at people and be like, what did you do? Please talk me out of wanting to go back, because I'm freaking out. It was scary. It was so scary. Yeah.
Damn, that is a big leap. I mean, when it comes to just going out and moving out on your own, and you said you got to find people that are like-minded, how are you able to do that? Did you just go out there and figure it out and find out, by yourself in the real world of the Miami streets?
Yes, so when I made the mental decision to, I was flirting with the idea with leaving my healthcare job, I already started questioning the people in my dance community. Again, I've always been in the network, like I've always had my people around. I grew my network throughout the years as something that I never let go of dance. Like I was always there. So I started asking them, hey, what's life like? What are you doing? Aside from dance, what do you do?
Because they already made that leap?
Since they already made that leap, exactly. So it kind of gave me an idea of what I was going into, so that helped a lot.
Did they motivate you to take the leap as well?
They did. The thing is, the community of dancers they are such passionate and creative people that they'll never stray you the wrong way. Especially when your heart's in dance, they're really good people. So I'm very thankful that all of them were, I don't even think there was one person that told me no.
That's amazing. That's like a big family. I feel like you definitely need that when you're taking a huge leap of faith.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then I'm curious, because I know, like, I played baseball, so out of high school you try to go into the university and then you try to get drafted. So how does it work with a dancer? Like, if you're passionate and you love dancing in middle school and then you're really good at it in high school, where's that next step? Do you try to be a dancer within a university, like a baseball player, or what's the major leagues of a dancer?
To be honest, I think dance, everyone has a different path. At the end of the day, different paths can sometimes take you to the same road. Let's say if you're dancing on tour for an artist, each dancer has their own different path. So there's no really straight line when it comes to dance.
It's like independent contractors in a way, where it's like you're here now and you're doing this show, but tomorrow I might be somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Exactly.
Is that all done through like a management team or an agency?
So you could have an agent. I'm an agent myself, so I could definitely help you and represent you. I'm still learning, of course. I just started, but I'm really happy to give back to the community, give opportunities, learn the way it really works, to what it means to represent somebody, what it means to grow an artist, because again, I don't want to say I didn't have the guidance. I didn't know how to ask for the guidance. So now that I know what to do, I can guide people in that direction as their agent. But yes, you can be represented by somebody and they can bring opportunities your way. Or at the end of the day, in Miami, it's different. Miami's like non-union. We have a lot of non-union works. We have a lot of independent work. So you don't need an agent to be successful in Miami, but it helps depending on what goals and what type of jobs you're trying to hit.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So when you were in the dance studio, what dance studio is it, by the way? Do you have like a go-to one?
A go-to studio? Okay, so right out of high school, I started going to Showstoppers. Amazing. I was in their company. I had a lot of fun there, but then I was in and out. I was that in and out dancer that I would come dance, I would leave. And then after a while, I started going to different studios. More studios started popping up in Miami. Like the market started flourishing and there's more studios here. So I go to EYS, I go to Arte Vivo. I work out at a dance fitness studio, B305. So I do my workouts there, and then at night they have like dance classes as well there. So there's a lot of different studios here. Even it depends what you want to do too, because there's a really dope studio here also that is like combined with choreography. So breaking MIA, it's a breakdancing studio, but then they also like have their Wednesday night choreography there. So it just depends what you want to train. There are so many studios here now. Yeah, like it's overwhelmingly amazing because now you have options.
So speaking of training, like how's your schedule as a dancer, as a committed dancer? Do you dance or do you practice like 7 days a week, 6, 5? How does that work?
So I focus mainly on my fitness first and then my dance training after. So with dance, it's more than just the steps. Obviously, you want to be proficient in the movement, your movement quality, picking up choreography. But my main thing first is fitness because I gotta look good on stage. I gotta look good in front of the camera.
Yeah, dancing's exhausting too.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah, no, it takes a toll on your body for sure.
Do you always do like HIIT cardio or try to at least since it's so like intense?
I would say because of the type of workouts that I do at B305, we do focus more on getting our heart rate up. And then when I'm on the gym, at the gym, like aside from those, I do more strength training. So like I'm trying to build my legs. I don't focus that much on HIIT, but then my cardio comes in when I take my dance classes. Like yeah.
Yeah, it's intense. I've seen it. It's extremely intense, but that's fun. I feel like it's similar to boxing because I love boxing, and it's that type of workout where it's like it's exhausting, but you're so into it that you don't feel it after, and then when you're done, you're just like you're dead. You're just soaked in sweat.
It's like it's taxing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And when you started pursuing dancing, like, how does it, tell me about the business side of it, because you told me that you became an agent and now you started your own company. So how's that been from, like, loving dance and having a passion to, like, also turning that into a business?
So it came from my passion of wanting to, like, help the community and being like, okay, how do I fill the gap? What is going on here? Everyone always hears I see the same people on TV all the time. And I was like, okay, cool. But like, what's the solution? I'm not going to be here. I'm very solution oriented. At the end of the day, if I see myself complaining for too long, I'm already like, oh, I'm tired of myself. Like, but what can I do about it? So one of those things was I was one of those people that was like, damn, this person's always getting booked. This person's always on TV. And I'm like, okay, what is it that I am doing wrong? So first I had to self-analyze and be like, okay, there's something wrong that I'm doing. And then once I found that out, I said, okay, I'm also the type of person that I want to share that information. So I said, once I found out the information, I filled in the gaps for myself. I said, other people need to know this for themselves too, because I feel like we should all have a fair playing ground. But at the end of the day, it's like a winner takes all. Like all of us are going to show up, and whoever books this job is like, okay, I'm gonna applaud you because you went after it, but I don't want it to be like, oh, I didn't get this job because I didn't show up.
Yeah.
You know, because then that's like, then you live with the what if. Oh, I could have booked this job because it's the look that they were going for. It's the movement quality. I would have been perfect for that role. The only problem was I didn't show up. I didn't know about it.
You have to shoot your shot.
You know what I mean?
You always have to shoot your shot. You never know. It's like planting seeds. Like if, like for example, in a podcast, if someone's running a podcast and they want big time people on their podcast, you have to do the minimal steps to like, send DMs and then comment, like their stuff, try to reach out, send emails, and then at first they may not get back to you, but then 3 months down the road, that seed that you planted just completely blossomed, and now they replied to you, they love what you're doing, and they're going to be on the show.
Exactly.
And that was all through something that you did 3 months ago. So I feel you. It's a grind, especially out here in Miami.
Yeah.
I know obviously you were born and raised in Miami, but your parents, for the people that don't know, are they Cuban or?
My parents are both Cuban.
Okay.
Are yours?
Of course, yeah. You have
born and raised in Miami.
Nah, yeah, I could tell. You have that, like, I feel like it's an immigrant mindset where if your parents come from Cuba, their kids are always out here grinding because we saw our parents, like, hustling nonstop for us, and we feel like it's our responsibility to now do the same thing, and if not harder, so that they can retire and relax, and they could enjoy all the fruits of their labor because, like, wow, they have given us an amazing life. But when it comes to you and like entrepreneurship, like clearly I could tell it's within you and you have that mindset. Is that something you always had, or like did you learn about it one day and you loved entrepreneurship and then continue to learn about it? So
I feel like I've always been like the leader in my groups. Like since I was little, I was always like, okay guys, let's do this dance. Oh, whenever I would do talent shows in like elementary school, they're like, I want to be in Jasmine's group. Okay, Jasmine's like getting everyone's costumes ready.
You were not the shy type.
No, not at all. So I had that quality in me to just like unite people and be like, okay, come, yes, you too. Okay, let's do this. So that quality was always in me. As far as the entrepreneurship, since that was in me already, it was it was a go-to of, okay, what's the next step I could do with this quality that I have? And that's what led me to entrepreneurship. Instead of wanting entrepreneurship and saying, hey, what qualities am I lacking? I kind of saw what I had, and I'm like, it's leading to this road, you know?
Yeah.
It's leading to, okay, like, this is something that I have to do. I would feel weird. The thing is even being in a company or being around, like, in different groups, I'm the one to always voice, like, my opinion in the most respectful way, because I want the best for your project. Because I see that this is an opportunity. Oh, I want to help. Oh, I want to put my 2 cents in, because not for recognition, because I think it's gonna help. And if you don't think so, okay, fine, wipe your ass with it. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just I do see in, like, helping others through, like, suggestions or leading them in the right direction.
Yeah, I feel like closed mouths don't get fed. You always want to, give your 2 cents. And like you said, if they don't agree, then it's okay. But
That's
at least
okay.
you spoke your mind, because they could have agreed and it could have gone great.
Yeah, and at the end, has that ever happened to you where you might say something and it sparked something in them, and now it completely
All the time.
revolution? You know what I mean?
There's times where to me, it's such common sense, but for whatever reason, nobody has said it or spoke about it, and then I feel the need to be like, okay, well, what about this? And then everyone looks at me like if I'm a genius, and I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. I thought everyone would know this, but you never know. You just gotta speak your mind sometimes.
Yeah, because it could really help spark huge projects. Like, your words can be a catalyst to people's projects.
But I also think that you're a natural born leader, because that's what a leader does. And like, if you're not a leader and you're more of a follower, you will probably not say anything and keep your mouth shut and then follow the crowd. But you are clearly a leader, and I feel like that's probably why you also love entrepreneurship, because when you're working for someone else, I feel like you're so dedicated to lead the team that you want to be like, no, this is my team, let's do this and let's make it right. And I applaud you for that, because also as a woman, like, many people don't see that in women. Like, a lot of times they think that they just follow the crowd, but when you have a woman that's strong and she empowers others to do the same, I feel like that is a huge game changer, especially in a community like dancers. How has it been leading other dancers? Do you try to be a teacher to some, or do you just always try to learn?
For sure. I mean, you're always learning. So at the end of the day, if you ever think it's my turn to be the teacher forever, like, that's when you're actually going backwards. You're always learning. So that's a first. Second, yes, I always find myself whenever I'm in a gig and I'm with the dancers, like, as an agent, sometimes if they want to book me, okay, I'm the talent as well, so I could do both. So whenever I'm a talent and I'm with my dancers, I always take that as an opportunity to teach them something. Even if it's something small, I'll be like, hey guys, teaching opportunity. I literally word it like that. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, okay, so this and this and this happened, and this is what I did, and, just so if you guys ever come across this in the future, this is how you handle it. And they're like, thank you. And I'm like, yeah, because I know how shitty it feels to be in situations, go through it, and then someone looks at you like, did you go through that? And I'm like, yeah, why? Did you, like, know this was gonna happen? They're like, yeah, I just wanted to, like, see you go through it. And I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know if it's that mother instinct in me either, that I'm like, I don't care that you can go through it, but at the end of the day, there are some things that people go through to say for you to be like, registered. I don't need to go through that to learn. This is sometimes that's why we read books. We read books because a lot of it is that we learn through other people's mistakes, and it saves us thousands of hours, dollars of time, because we are learning through reading other people's mistakes. Yeah. So then why can't we do the same thing when we're speaking to others? What I also love about books is that there's knowledge in there that doesn't get talked about within normal conversations, and then also there's knowledge in there that just isn't on TV. Like, you can't just turn the TV on, direct TV, and then the commercials of, let's say, a Heat game is something like super inspiring and full of wisdom. That's something that you can only get from books. And I feel like it's something that is extremely important and people should do almost every day if possible. And I'm just curious, like, what got you into reading? Have you always been a reader since you were young, or is that something that you picked up while, like, self-development and trying to be, like, the best version of yourself? So I've always been studious, but obviously when it came to school subject matters, like anything with school. But then after high school, I kind of went through my freshman 15, and I went through my weight loss journey. And in the weight loss journey, it was hand in hand with personal development. So then I would go to the library on my own and I would find books, and then I kind of just dipped my toes into self-development from like a want of like, it's just wanting more out of my life, and then I dipped my toes into reading.
Do you remember what book it was that did it for you?
Yes. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Wow, nice.
It was that one. I was like, damn, like the perspective of it on it was really good. Really, really good.
I've never read that one.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it, actually. That's good. My first one was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It was the first book that I read, like you said. Like, I read in school, of course, but when it comes to, like, what I'm into, it was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it changed my mindset when it comes to reading and, like, the knowledge that I'm putting in my brain. I learned so much from that book that I haven't learned anywhere else in life, that I'm like, I need to continue reading, because this knowledge is, like, almost the most valuable thing that you could find. Another one was The Power. I don't know if you know about The Secret or The Law of Attraction.
Yes, The Power of Now or
Just
the Power?
The Power.
I haven't read that one.
So The Law of Attraction, if you know, it talks about, of course, like, the law of manifestation and stuff. But then The Power just goes deeper into The Secret, where it talks about how it's great to know what you want and say what you want, but you're not going to get it until you feel it. So that's why writing things down is very effective, because as you're writing, you get a feeling of like envisioning it, and also praying. I feel like praying is something that doesn't get talked about as much because it gets so related to religion, and religion, like politics, is a very sensitive topic. But like in reality, the way that I see it from like the books that I've read and like the knowledge I have, when you pray, you could pray to a God, you could pray to a spirit, or you can just pray to yourself.
Universe, yeah.
But you're closing your eyes and you're manifesting, you're feeling the feelings of gratitude, and then you're manifesting what you want. You're thankful for your health, your family, opportunities, and that within itself, like that feeling is gonna attract everything that you want in life.
Yeah.
So I would say if people can read and then also just pray every night or every morning, 5 minutes. I mean, if that, like, it could even be 2 minutes. Just have a list of like 10 things you're grateful for. It's extremely effective.
I can attest to that. That's actually a practice that I do every single day. I read every single day and I pray.
How long have you been doing that for?
Reading?
Just
every day?
Because I feel like as humans we function off of habits. So you can have bad habits, but then you can also switch up. It's not easy, but you can switch those up to good habits. So how long did it take you to form the habit of like you're gonna read every day?
Okay, so it's almost been a year now that I've been reading every day, and I know that because my year is coming up of 75 Hard. I did the Live Hard program. It was such a good program to cultivate like discipline and mental toughness. Shout out Andy Frisella. Thank you so much for that. So through that program, since one of the tasks were reading 10 pages a day, I just built the habit of reading, and then I wasn't reading just to read. Like, I was reading to just understand the information. And from that, I was like, wow, I am learning so much through the books that I'm reading. And ever since then, obviously the program is not 365 days long. I mean, if you want to, sure, but the habit is 365 days. Exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I built the habit from there. So it's been almost a year now that I've been reading every day.
That's amazing.
10 pages or more. Even.
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to my friend about this other day where I'm like, so there's been points of my life where I dread reading and I don't like to read, but then if you're able to switch that habit, for example, like I switched the habit of forcing myself to read every day for at least, and I tell this to everyone too, like if you read 10 pages a day, I'm a slow reader, so it takes me 30 minutes around to read 10 pages. And sometimes I have to reread the same page because like it happens. But I also like to read with the highlighter so that if I have to reread the page, I can just highlight what I touched on. And then if you do the math, like 30 minutes a day is nothing. You get trapped on Instagram for 30 minutes a day easily.
Yep.
But if you read 30 minutes a day, which is 10 pages, you do that for a month, that's going to be 300 pages each month. And 300 pages is a good sized book. It's a lot of knowledge, and it's just 30 minutes a day. So like if you think about it that way, like... Anyways, back to what I was saying. I used to dread reading, but then when I turned it into a habit, I wouldn't feel right if I didn't read. And that's how like feelings come back, where it's like I felt bad about having to read every day, but then I turned it into a habit to the point that if I didn't read, I would feel bad that I didn't. So it's all in your mind. Yeah,
and honestly, when it comes to habits in general, like when you are shifting your habits to good habits and you cultivate those good habits, and you know they're good. Because obviously, once you have bad habits, you're like, oh, this is a bad. But when you know you're on a path of doing good, the moment you start digressing, you feel weird. The moment you don't do it, you feel weird. And it's like, oh, I broke that promise to myself, you know? So yeah, it's a life of the moment you go to the good side, you're there to stay. Like, it's weird when you drift.
That's how I feel about the gym. When, I mean, being an athlete my whole life, if I don't go to the gym for more than 3 days in a row, I physically feel soft. Like,
Flat.
I don't like it.
Nope.
I don't like the feeling, and then that leads to my mental. Because if I don't physically feel good, now I'm not mentally feeling good, and it's all because I didn't work out. And that goes to what you said, like, these are all good problems because I'm like stressing the fact that I didn't do a good thing in my life. So
Absolutely. I was about to say it's a good problem to have, but it's a matter of that self-awareness, getting yourself back into it. Because the moment you downward spiral, pick yourself up, and get right back to it. Because it sucks when you go more than 3 days. Forget it. You're like, oh, maybe I'll start Monday, and you're like, no, I don't want to be that person that's gonna do Monday. No, I can't be that person again. You just graduated from being that, oh, okay, I'll start Monday person. You're not that person anymore. Like, no, you're on a different level.
yeah, it should be like, what's next?
Exactly.
And people get stuck on that, like it's happened to me before, where I tell myself, all right, I'm gonna start doing this routine next week. But then next week comes, and then it's Wednesday, so I tell myself, okay, I'm just gonna do it next week. But
right.
in reality, like, just do it tomorrow. You know what I mean? Just get it done. That's the best feeling in the world, is just getting something done that's on your to-do list. Like, I love getting my my green marker and just checking off the things.
Satisfying, right?
Yeah. Do you write your goals down?
I do. Every single day, Andy first said that.
How's your, okay, so tell me about your daily routine.
Okay.
Like, when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah. When I wake up, so even when it comes back, okay, before I have my coffee, I drink a gallon of water every day, but before I have my coffee, I have 2 water bottles. I face it to make sure I get clean. That's like a ritual, like a routine. Like, I will not touch coffee until I drink water.
There is such valuable, like, that's a valuable, it's such a good thing to do that people don't do. And it's so simple. And that's something that I started doing too, but I used to not do it. And it's one of those things where it's just like, that's why I love that we're doing this, and we're able to like talk about this with other people listening, because to all those people listening out there, drink water the first thing you do when you wake up.
Yes.
It changes everything.
For sure.
As crazy as that sounds. Yeah, so you chug 2 waters, and then what?
Yeah, and the thing is that even that little routine alone taught me patience, because while my coffee is brewing, and I haven't, let's say I'm only a water bottle in and my coffee is done, I'm looking at that coffee like, oh, I can really have some, it's ready. But then I'm like, no, not yet. You need to finish your water. And I go and I chug my other water bottle and I'm like, okay, yay, I can finally have my coffee. So that, and then I work out in the mornings, I come back home, and then I get down to my power list. So like, my power list is basically 5 key items that I need to get done to propel me forward. So aside from working out, aside from eating healthy, aside from all the things that I already do that's already part of my routine, if I'm trying to build a new routine, I add it on my power list until it becomes a routine. And the second thing with the power list is that it's a list, it's not a to-do list, it's a list of critical tasks that I need to get done by the time I close my eyes at night. So even if I don't get it done that morning, I have till I go to sleep that night to get that list done. And you better believe it's just 5 items. You can't be putting 10, 20 things on it, because there's only so much one person can do. You're gonna burn yourself out, and then you're gonna make yourself feel worse after 3 days. So let's not even get into that. But you better believe if I do 4 and I don't do 5, I feel bad at the end of the night. It doesn't matter what I did, the water, the working out, the this. If there's one task there where I don't get it done, I'm like, damn, okay, well, tomorrow I gotta do better. Tomorrow I'll do this task, and then I'll hit my next power list. You know, I won't beat myself up about it, but there is something in me that's just like, what happened?
Yeah.
Why did you slack? Why didn't you do that?
I feel like that's greatness within you.
Thanks.
That's what it is. Yeah, because I mean, I feel like if anyone can relate, there's an itch inside of you that doesn't let you not be great. Like at least if you didn't do the 5 tasks, at least you strove to do it, and you're aware that you didn't do it, and you feel this type of way about it. You know, as opposed to like you didn't do it and you're okay with not doing it.
Oh yeah. So then it's like, because then you're okay with not fulfilling your self promises. You know what I mean? Then that instills a different quality in you. Then you're gonna be okay with complacency. Then you're okay with giving yourself the excuses like, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. No. It's not okay, but just do better.
Yeah.
Okay, I recognize it's not okay, but I'll do better.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna convince myself that I'm good. No, I'm not good.
Yeah, no, that's how it is. You have to be on top of yourself, because if you're not, time goes by, especially in a city like Miami, time goes by so fast. And it's going to be 6 months and you're doing the same thing that you were doing 6 months ago because you keep telling yourself that, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And it's funny because it's like the opposite. When you're super motivated and super dedicated and you have goals, it's almost like I feel like I'm constantly running out of time. Like there's not enough time in my day to do everything that I want to do.
Absolutely. We have to pace ourselves, and we can't beat ourselves up either, but definitely put a plan in place so that way we could track our progress and make sure that we're actually taking those steps forward, for sure.
How important is having a plan for you, like you mentioned? Because some people they have a super, well, I've realized that you're one or the other, right? Like you're either a person that has a plan always and you have goals and you know exactly how you're going to get to that goal, and you have like literally a blueprint. But then there's the other opposite side where it's just I know what I want, but it will come to me type of vibe.
Okay, so I feel like we can say there's 3 or 4 people in that category. But if we're just making it in those 2 type people, I feel like for this person who doesn't know how to get there, it's okay as long as you're clear with your end goal. And if you are conscious of every step, if you're intentional of every step that you take, is this gonna move me towards this goal or not? So it's not like you're gonna live your life stampeding through it and thinking it's gonna come to you. It's like, no, you also have to be like conscious of what you want and taking the steps to get there, even if you didn't set up a blueprint, a plan. So that's one thing, is being intentional. And the second thing is, if you're literally not gonna go for a plan and saying it's in God's hands, then baby girl, put it in God's hands and pray. Then pray. You know what I mean? Yeah. But actually take action steps towards it. Okay, what type of person do I have to be to get that goal? What type of life? You know what I mean? And at least start from there. So even if you don't have it written down, envision that, and then you gotta be real intentional with every step you take and say, would this type of person do this? Yes, no, and then go from there. And then as far as the other person with the plan, at the end of the day, bringing God back into this, you might think that you have a plan, but it's always God's plan. So you might think you have a blueprint, but things might fall off track. Life will be crazy. Things will be thrown at you because it's God's way. God's going to give you what you want. But because you wrote out your own plan and you think it's going to go perfectly, God's going to show you otherwise. Being like, nope, he's in control. You know what I mean? So not to get so spiritual into it, but...
I love what you said. I agree with everything you said. I love what you said about being intentional. And then I love what you said about God's plan, because I agree. You're not the creator. So you can try to create the blueprint of how to get to your goal. But God may have other plans for you, and because He is truly the creator, He's the one that has the real blueprint. So what I like to preach is it's similar to what you say about having intention. Like, there are people that have a plan and know where they're going and how to get there. There's people that they want to get there but don't know how. My thing is just move. Like, you have to have movement. Like, you may not have a plan, but make a call today. Ask a question. That question could lead you to just like overcoming a bunch of obstacles and being 10 steps ahead of the game just from that one call. So I'm just like, I always preach movement. And then it goes with, like you said, like you might have a blueprint, but then God's gonna smack you up and be like, nah, your blueprint is all messed up. This isn't your route. This is what you're doing. But if you get hit like that and you don't have movement, now you're in a weird dark place where you're just like, wow, my plan didn't work. What am I gonna do? Where am I gonna go? Like, have faith, like you said. Just believe in God or whatever spirit you believe in, the law of attraction, universe, Buddha, whatever. Keep moving forward, because if something didn't work out but your intentions were good, then there's better things for you. You just have to keep moving. Like, you cannot stop.
Absolutely. I think there's power in movement regardless if you think it's negative. At the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, now you know what steps or what moves not to make. So that even helped. You know what I mean? It's like, one of the biggest things is like the moment you fail, man, you got to learn that lesson. Because if you start repeating it over and over and start hamster wheeling it, then it's like, okay, now you're going in circles. Like, you need to learn from your mistakes and not repeat that, you know? So
yeah, you have to be an observer of like your own movements. You can't just move and then like see what happens. You have, like, everything happens for a reason. So like you said, if you fail, there's a reason for that. But that's a good thing because now you can learn from that. And like
exactly.
Learning is, that's how you said, like, knowledge from books is amazing because you're ahead of the game. And I mean, like, I don't know, I just keep saying like Miami because this city is just, it's different. You have to, like you mentioned before, you have to be on your toes in the city.
For sure.
You can't be on your heels. You just straight up can't. Is that how I'm assuming the dance community is too? Because I look at them and they're all these like super motivated hustlers. And I feel like that's a great place to be around. So do most of the dancers that you're around, are they from other states or other cities that are coming to Miami because of this hustle? Or they're mostly all Miami based?
Most of the ones I know are Miami based or have been in Miami for the past like couple of years recently. But if anything, there's a lot of movement coming. There's been a lot of movement going out of Miami and going to like LA or New York instead. However, lately, literally as of the past like maybe year, there has been a lot of movement in the dance community here in Miami that I am so happy like to see their progress, because instead of outsourcing and going to like New York or LA and missing our people, we're creating that hub here in Miami. So it's like, okay, well, how can we get people here? How can our own people grow? And at the end of the day, we're not going to stop you. If you want to go elsewhere to train and to grow, cool, but not because Miami doesn't have it. Let's create it. Let's have it here. And that's, you know, that's in the past year, there's been a lot of more movement in that aspect.
Nice.
With the culture.
Yeah, I asked because of your company. I think it's called the Abundance Agency. So I asked because I'm assuming like you help dancers continuously get booked, right? So is that something that you had like a mentor that showed you the ropes on how to do that, or was that something that you learned throughout your own hustle and grind of I need to get booked?
Throughout my own hustle and grind, throughout the years, building up my network, connecting with people from like high school, middle school who became artists, who became I would say artists. So they would see that I was a dancer, they're an artist, so then they would hit me up and we would create that way. So in doing that, I would literally say, hey, Bob, we need 2 more dancers. Okay, cool. So I would look and I would book my dance friends. So booking kind of came secondhand from like what I was doing already. So it wasn't like a decision of I want to be an agent, so this is what I have to do. That's what I was telling you. I was already doing all of these things anyway. So I was like, the solution is an agency, like an agent, because I was already doing these things.
And how did that come to be? Like, did you have to start an LLC and then go through that whole part? How was that for you? Was it your first time doing that?
Yeah, it was my first time doing it.
There's a lot of people that, you know, like they don't know the process or whatever, and maybe they're scared to take that leap of faith. So how was that for you? Was it easy? Was it smooth?
It was smooth because of my mindset. Because I said, you know how many businesses out there are open? And you know how many businesses are out there that I'm like, how are you even a business? And they went through this registration process and I'm here complaining about it? No, I'm gonna register my business and I'm gonna make it the best business that I can make it. No, absolutely not. The registration process is not gonna trump me from going forward with this. Absolutely not.
Yes.
So for anyone else out there, shit's gonna get way harder if you think registering your company is tough. If you need help, let me know. I'll help you. Jesus.
Yeah, it's huge. It's such a benefit because when you register an LLC, now the whole, I don't know if you know about taxes, but that's a huge part of it that, you know, I encourage more people to start a business because even if you don't know really what you're doing, but you're going to invest some time, which is just as valuable as money, but you're obviously going to invest money into it. Get an LLC started first. It's super easy. It's going to take you less than 30 minutes probably. And now you have a business. You're not gonna get sued, which is huge. And then also you have a legitimate LLC that you can have business expenses on. So as you invest in your business, you're not just throwing money away. If it doesn't work out, it's something that you can write off in taxes. And, you know, within 12 months, it's very helpful. So to all you people out there, start an LLC.
Yeah, I recommend at the end of the day, if, let's say even for a dancer, for example, like our image, we are our brand, we are the product. So anything that we do to enhance the product, to work on it, like it's to adding to the business, because we are the business, it's writing off. So I would totally recommend dancers to even just open up an LLC for themselves, for sure.
Yeah, it's almost necessary.
Yeah.
And have you read the book The Voice of Knowledge?
No.
Okay, I asked because it's a really good book, but it talks about how there's always two voices in your head. There's always the good voice and there's always the bad voice.
Yes.
And I don't know, I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but that's a very true thing.
Yes.
Like, you have the good and you have the bad. So The Voice of Knowledge is a book that explains to you that, you know, the good in life is obvious. If you don't know what the good in life is, then you should just maybe read the Four Agreements or just read another book first. But if you're able to distinguish good and evil, you're already ahead of the game. Awareness is the biggest thing in life and in your mind. So now that you're aware of the evil and aware of the bad, every single time you hear it, instead of listening to it, you almost like have to stomp on it. Like almost do the opposite of what it's telling you. So for example, like if you know that you should work out, but there's two voices, one of them is saying, damn, I need to work out. Like I should work out. I have to work out. And the other one is saying, yeah, but you're tired and you had a long day and you barely had sleep and that couch looks comfortable. You have to be able to like distinguish that and just immediately go work out, because you know what the good is and you need to just squash the bad. I don't know if I asked because you have that, I guess, supernaturally. You're able to distinguish like what is good, what is the bad. Okay, forget the bad, I'm going with the good. Is that something that you've always had, or it just came to be one day where you're just like, I'm sick of this like bad stuff and I'm gonna ignore it?
Yeah. So, okay. I feel like there will always be those voices to some degree in your head. No matter
Always,
where you
for
are
sure.
in your journey, it's always going to be there. It's just how quickly you shut it up, you know? So for me, I feel like growing up, I always had that quality, like that, following the good voice, like, yeah, what's good, because it's what felt good. It's what was... I mean, I wasn't really introduced to bad shit as a kid. Like, and even then, it's like my mom was really on top of me of this is bad and that's it. She wasn't that type of mom that she's like, well, it's your choice. My mom was literally like, this is bad, you ain't doing it, and that's it. And I'm like, okay.
Parents, they're gonna bring out the bell, they're gonna bring out the chancleta.
Exactly. So
we're gonna know what's bad.
I wasn't really born in a politically correct household. No, like my shit was chancleta. This is how you're gonna learn. So from a young age, I knew good from bad. But obviously, growing up, peer pressure, adolescence, going off and getting independence, then independence in the street. Independence is different. Independence in the street of Miami is something else, okay? Let me tell you, it's different. So, learned on my own as a kid, didn't like how I felt, how I looked. Then I started shifting my mindset. Whatever, started improving from then. Then I kind of went off on my own again. I kind of fell off track of my discipline. I started living on my own here in downtown. I don't know who I thought I was, but fell off the discipline train again. And until I met my boyfriend, and he was just he kind of shook it out of me, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, like who? Thank you so much for pointing this out. I swear you just met me like in a bad phase in my life, because I was so good before this, and then I looked within, I was like, damn, I was really good before this. What happened? So it was always that back and forth between the good voice, the bad voice, the good voice. But I feel like there will always be some aspect to it. However, you could cultivate discipline to make sure that good voice overpowers the bad voice. So it's just a matter of cultivating that discipline, for sure.
Yeah, I had that struggle too. Like just going through the phase of like the bad habits are overtaking the good ones, and I worked so hard to get these good habits. Why is it so hard for me to get them back in my life again? These bad habits are so easy, and it's tough to go through that. But I think it's harder to go through a long phase of bad habits, like mentally and physically.
Yeah.
I mean, just for obvious reasons, as it is to be going through a constant phase of positive and good, change in habits. So that's where I had to just draw the line on myself. And I'm like, okay, well, I see that I'm going downhill. I should be waking up earlier than I am. I should be going to sleep earlier. And my energy's being wasted. My time is flying. Like, I need to get shit together. But shout out to your boyfriend for,
thank you, baby. No, for sure. He was literally like, you wake up at 11, 12. Like, you don't want to wake up earlier? And I'm like, are you asking me or are you telling me? He's like, you can do whatever you want. I'm like,
oh, trust me, he's asking you.
No, for sure. For sure.
Look, is this what you like? Is this what you want? Yeah, I love this. Okay, good to know. I'm not going to change you, but...
Noted.
Yeah.
No, for sure. So I appreciate him just even, like bringing it up. Because for me, I thought it was that routine that I had was so normal to me, waking up late, the nightlife. It was so routine and normal to me that I didn't realize that I had it so good before what happened. You know what I mean? And I'm actually thankful that I did get to experience those good habits before, because the conversation could have gone completely different. Had he approached me, I could have been like, I literally don't see anything wrong with this. Instead of me,
there are people like that.
Instead
and it's
of me,
okay. It's it's your life, and it is what it is.
It is, but it's just like the thing is, at least experience it. I would say to anybody, at least experience the experience all the good shit, and then go bad to your bad shit, and then choose which one you want. I promise you, like 90% of the time, you're gonna want to choose the good. Like, you're gonna want to choose. You feel better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I would say to people that don't like waking up early, keep in mind that it's only bad for the first 10 to 15 minutes, but after you go an hour or two of being up early, let's say you wake up at 7 and now it's 9 a.m., when it's 9:30 in the morning and you're a person that's used to waking up at 11, and you see what you've been able to do for those past hour and a half that you've been up, compared to thinking wow, at this time I'd be waking up right now and then I wouldn't shower or eat breakfast until another hour and my day would start at 12. It's 9 a.m. and I've already done half my to-do list.
Exactly.
It's life-changing.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's almost necessary, especially in a place where, or a schedule like yours, how you're just nonstop with it. Which brings me to my next question. Yes. How you mentioned you're in a relationship. Mm-hmm. How's that been going for you when it comes to not only trying to be the best version of yourself, but then balancing time with your boyfriend as well?
So I feel like we are both improving. Like, we obviously want the best for ourselves, and we can only do that for ourselves if we want to do that for each other. So we respect that, and we push each other too. So at the end of the day, if I am like, hey, I want to hang out with you, he'll check him out. He'll be like, okay, did you get everything you needed done? I'm like, yes. Or I'll admit, I'll be like, look, I didn't get everything I needed. I just want to see you, and then I'll get this done. I'll be honest with him. But, we don't see each other as often, but we also understand that we're in the grind mode. So I'm grinding it out. He's grinding it out. We're trying to be the best version of ourselves, because at the end of the day, this future that we picture together is not the type of people we are today. So how can we get there? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I have to be a completely different person to get there. He has to be it. And then throughout that is obviously feeding this relationship. We're talking, we're discussing, we're checking in on each other. It's it's just growing a relationship. And at the end of the day, I always tell everybody, you can have a vision with somebody, you can have an end goal with somebody, but that end goal shouldn't stop you from what's happening right now. You have to make sure that right now within your relationship, that shit's going good. That shit, check in with each other. Put each other in check. Make sure it's healthy as possible. Obviously, if things are not going well now and it's toxic, just because you see that future with them in the end doesn't mean you have to put up with shit right now. It doesn't matter. That future can cancel. You also have to be aware of what's happening today,
Yeah, that's big. I've had my fair share of issues with relationships because I'm very busy. I'm always busy because it is by choice. The relationships that I have been in, I know it is by choice, and I choose to keep myself very busy because I'm constantly trying to accomplish my goals. And sometimes girls aren't okay with only seeing their man twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. And then what I'll tell them is I'm gonna be completely blunt, completely honest with you. I can't waste time, and I'm not here to play you or your feelings. So because of my schedule, I can only see you maybe 2 to 3 times a week. Is that okay? Yes, no. So how do you guys balance that? Do you guys try to see each other more than 3 times a week or less, or is it just one of those things where it's if we can, we can, if we can't, we can't, we're together, that's what matters, let's go?
We're there now. We weren't there before.
Okay.
Because again, in the beginning when I first met him, my priorities were out of whack. I was on the bad instead of on the good.
You wanted to hang out with him all the time?
All the time.
He was like, yo, I gotta
the
get
time.
my shit together.
All the time.
Okay.
All the time. We were about to leave. Like, he'd be about to leave the door. I'm like, I miss you. He's like, I'm right here. I haven't even left yet. I'm like, but like, I'm just thinking about you being gone. And I'm like, okay, no, girl, you need to relax. So then, obviously, once I started cultivating the discipline, I was like, oh, wow. Once you have a plan and once you know where you're headed, like, there's no one that's going to stop you. And then that's when I started understanding where he was coming from, because he was a man with a plan. He knew what he wanted, and now I understood once I had my plan in order, oh, I got shit to do. Like, I need time for myself. I need time for other things. I need time to make this future happen for me and for us, you know? So the first few months, yeah, I was very like, I want to see you all the time.
Yeah,
and then once I started, you know, doing my own thing and getting clear about like a life for myself before I could even involve us, I was like, okay, now I understand. And now we're very much if we can see each other, cool. If not, we FaceTime. If not, like, you know, like, it's very, if we can, and we just vibe off each other. However, I'm also the type of person that if it's been almost a week, I'll be like, I miss you. Like, we need to see each other in person.
Yeah,
and he'll be like, okay. I'm like, you know.
No, I mean, yeah, it's a lot of give and take in a relationship. And like, if I was to ever, let's say I'm with a girl and then I don't see her for a week, I know that it is because, like, there's reasons to it. It's either because she was working her ass off, or I was working my ass off, or hopefully both. So when we do see each other after those 7 days, like, it's, at least on my end, it's going to be magical, because I have all these emotions of accomplishments, and like, I did so much this week, and now I'm happy to see you, and now we're going to have fun and express like all these beautiful feelings, which is great. Like, that's how a relationship should be. So shout out to your boyfriend again, with him and his plans and his mindset. Hopefully we have him on the podcast too.
Yes, hopefully.
That would be fun. And so when it comes to building up your brand as a dancer, explain to me how that works. Like, you're Jasmine and you're a dancer. Now, when it comes to getting booked for these events and performances that you do, again, shout out to you. You're out here all over Miami, all over the concerts, all over the nicest clubs. Like, you're really killing it. So I wonder, is it something that they know who Jasmine is at this point and they want you and they reach out to you? Or you're still out here like, look, I want to book this, so I'm going to go make the call. I'm going to go send the email. I'm going to go in person. Like, how does that connecting work?
It's both. It's absolutely both. So I do have people that reach out to me for two things. For me, for personal brand, and for the company as well. Because if it's not me, if I'm not physically the look that you're going for, or even the movement quality, I absolutely respect that. But I have a group of dancers that would love to be booked. Who do you want to work with? So I can facilitate that. So it's in both. They reach out to me. As far as me reaching out, is that I absolutely still reach out. I still reach out because I have this goal, an end goal in mind, and I'm not going to stop until I reach that end goal. So,
but are you going to stop when you reach the end goal?
I'm definitely not going to stop. I'm going to once I reach the goal that I have in my mind, like, getting closer to it, there's already going to be another step ahead. You know what I mean? So, no, I feel like as part of going after your goals is you picking up the phone, you getting after it. You know what I mean? So I there's this famous, like, reel on Instagram going on. It's like, you have to pray to catch the bus, and then you have to run. So you can't just run after the bus and not pray. So that's that faith factor. And you can't pray to catch the bus and then walk your ass over there, because it could have been your bus, but you missed it. You know, it could have been your bus, but you didn't check in with God. So I think of my goals that way too, where things come my way, yes, but the stuff that I really want, I have to get after it.
Nice. That's amazing.
Thank you.
What I've always wondered when it comes to dancing is, of course, it's not easy at all, and it's hard and it's intense. But the choreography, to me, is like a big, like, mystery. Like, to me, it's what makes you guys so talented. Like, aside from the physical stuff and the dancing, like, how is it that dancers are able to memorize so many different like dances and choreography? For example, let's say you have a music video shoot on a Thursday night, right? How many days in advance do you meet up with the team and prepare for that specific dance that you're gonna do on Thursday night?
I think it also depends on like the level of difficulty or like the level of dancing, because sometimes we do it on set.
Oh, okay. So you guys have it like.
Sometimes it could be, oh, we just want something for the chorus, something small. Oh, okay, we'll meet up an hour before, right on set, and we'll get it done. Or at the moment, hey, this is what it is. Or if it's a bigger production, more choreography, and it's more than just the chorus, or if it's partners, or it depends, again, the level of difficulty and what you're doing. It could be 1 hour rehearsal, 2 hours. It could be a whole week long of rehearsal. So it really depends on the project at hand. Every project could be different.
And have you ever been a choreographer to a dance, or yeah?
Yes.
How does that creative process work? Because I'm assuming, like, I love music, so I'm assuming it's kind of the same with like writing a song. You know, you gotta like hear the beat and then you start to implement. Like, how do you create a dance? Like,
so first I make sure that obviously it comes with the classes that I'm taking. I make sure that I get to move my body in different ways, but not only movement, I get to hear the music. I get to absorb different choreographers and the way they choreograph to music. So are you choreographing to the beats? Are you choreographing to the words? Are you choreographing to the bass, to the snare? Like, what is it that you're hearing? And it's like me learning how to choreograph for myself. What music, what hit do I want to hit, etc. So I make sure I get a lot of training. I see different choreographers. I see how they choreograph. And then if the project requires me to choreograph it, I would. However, with 100% respect to those choreographers who are dedicated to doing that for their lives, there are a lot of choreographers that's what they do. They specialize in choreography. Can I choreograph? I can if it's needed, but I do like to pass the baton down to gifted choreographers to also get their work out there. Like, it's not Jasmine Garcia choreography. Like, no. Don't put my name. I choreographed this, but don't put my name behind it. No. It's fine.
Cool.
It's this person's choreography because that's how they want to brand themselves. This is what they do with respect to them. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So
I'm gonna have a lot of questions. I'm just a curious person. So I've always also wondered, when it comes to dancers, for example, you're in high school and you're dancing. I would think that, or I thought that, like, the main goal was to dance in high school and then somehow find your way to be like a Miami Heat dancer or like a Miami Marlins or Dolphins. You know, like with the big time. I would assume big time dancers because you're in an arena, you know. But how does that work? If you're a Miami Heat dancer, are you also able to book your own events and do stuff when you're not at the Miami Heat, or you can only be a Miami Heat dancer?
I don't know. I know for Dolphins and like some other teams, there's exclusivity, or there are some jobs that you need to check in with your managers just for branding issues. So once you get out of high school, you do go to one of these pro teams. A good benefit of it is the branding that comes with it, because you learn how to talk on camera, you learn how to represent a brand, you learn like the discipline, like pretty much you represent the brand. So you learn pretty much how to do it for yourself with respect to the brand that you're representing. So I feel like that's a good way to learn how to be a good person, because, like, honestly, all those pro teams are amazing. What were we talking about? What was it again?
No, just that you're basically hitting all the points. Like, if you're a dancer, are you able to also dance and do your own thing independently, or are you just with the team?
I think it depends on the team that you're in.
Like, was that your mindset? Because again, I could be completely wrong. Like, I wasn't a dancer in high school, but I would think that, like, the goal is, okay, if you want to be a dancer, go be a dancer for one of these teams. But then I see that, like, nowadays, I'm more knowledgeable, and I'm like, there's so many other opportunities within dance that I didn't know about. Like, music videos, you know, like, even, I see these dancers. My sister was watching Taylor Swift, like, some huge performance that she did, and she was showing me the show that she put on. And what I really noticed was the dancers, they were just killing it, like, non-stop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, now when I think about it, like, Heat dancer's cool and it's nice, but being a dancer on like a Taylor Swift like mega performance must be insane.
Yeah.
I would assume, is that like the biggest goal for a dancer? One of these, like, well, and also is it where, let's say it's Taylor Swift, right? For example, do those dancers go on tour with her? Is that how that works?
I don't know Taylor Swift's like
any
account,
artist,
like
just
account.
wondering, like, do they tour together with the same choreography, same show, same people? Wow.
So it depends. There could be like on and off tours, so you can be traveling back and forth. Okay, so this month we're here and then we're back, and then we're here and then we're back, and at that point anything can happen. Either the artist says, oh, I want a different dancer, I want a different choreography, and it has to change, or maybe something happens within us while we're waiting, we get booked for something else, and then we have to change the dancers. So there's a whole bunch of different variables when it comes to that. Unless, again, you're in a contract and it's exclusivity, then at that point, like, no, those variables, if they come your way, you gotta, like, because you're exclusivity, so you're exclusive. So it just depends the artist, it depends your contract or your agreement, if there's any at that point. And with touring, again, there could be an artist that you're on the road with them the whole time, or it could be just like back and forth, and anything can happen in between then. The artist can say, scratch, no dancers for the next 3 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you always need to have the, what else do I do except dancing? Okay, what else am I doing? Yeah.
And do you just try to get booked in Miami, or have you tried getting booked like in other places?
I get booked in other places too. So, for example, like once a month, I'll go to Kentucky.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's
so
random.
yeah,
Did not
it
see
is.
that coming.
We
What's
have
in Kentucky?
So we have a team of dancers here. So in the weekends right now, like I'm doing go-go, obviously, while I build up the company, until I won't do go-go. It's my stepping stone. It's my income for now, you know. So
What's go-go?
Go-go is the dancers that you see like at Dirty Rabbit, in the nightclubs, so at Martini Bar. So those are those dancers. So I go-go dance in Kentucky once a month, and there's a group of dancers that rotate. So they'll go one weekend, I go one weekend, this one
That's
goes,
cool.
so we
That's
rotate.
fun.
So right now I'm going to Kentucky. I'm dancing with DJ Laz, and we're doing a Texas show coming up. I just did a Bimini show with DJ Laz, and we were on a week-long, almost a week-long cruise. It was amazing.
Oh, Virgin Voyages. Yeah, shout out Virgin Voyages, the best cruise ever in the world.
So good.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh, we had a blast.
The no kids thing,
What?
game changer. I remember when I booked it, I was like, it was a thing, like, oh, you're going on that one, there's no kids, and like, I was just whatever about it. I'm like, yeah, cool, there's no kids, but you don't realize how big that is until you're there.
The performances are even different, like their delivery, like they curse, they drink, they this, like it's more chill. It's a very adult setting. I love it.
It's a great time. And they have shows like happening from morning to night, all day, nonstop. The dancers out there are amazing too.
So good.
I guess that's what you're saying, where there's transitions sometimes, because when I went, obviously you weren't out there dancing, but the dancers that they had were one of the most amazing dance teams I've ever seen.
What?
Yeah.
So the dancers with Virgin, so they're contracted with the cruise. So I came like as a subcontract with Laz. So
Gotcha.
Laz got booked with his dancers. So we were only there for a week and we were out. But those dancers stay there. They're in a contract for however long with Virgin.
Nice.
Yeah.
What I love too was the resort that they have in Bimini. They have like this little gated community where it's only the people from the Virgin Voyages can attend, and they have the 2 huge pools with the DJ. I'm assuming that's where DJ Laz
the
plays.
beach club.
So fire. And then they have the beach right there, walking distance, with the white sand, the water that is so clear it looks like literally pool water. It's beautiful. It's magical.
Yeah, that we actually performed there, like where by the DJ booth. It was hot. What? We were sweating while we were up there dancing, but it was a blast. Everyone had so much fun. The pool was packed. DJ Laz always kills it. He throws down an amazing set all the time.
That was a pimp. That line right there it's gonna be in my head till I die. I remember every single morning driving to school with my parents. DJ Laz, that Chico's a pimp. It's ingrained in me.
Literally.
Nah, but he's a legend, 305 legend. That's right there. He's one of the best at what he does, and of course he's getting one of the best dancers out here.
Thank you.
So it all makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
And so what do you think is what's next for you? Like, what are you trying to accomplish within your, I guess, 2023?
So 2023, one of my personal goals is to definitely land a tour. That is one of my goals, and I am working towards it very, very hard. It's gonna happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah.
Hopefully 2023, but most definitely tour. Yes.
Nice.
Touring with an artist.
I see it coming. I mean, you definitely have the work ethic. You have the mindset. I feel like it's gonna happen. It's inevitable.
Thank you.
That's my word of the year. It's inevitable.
I'm about to say that. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You have control. Like, you can literally control certain things. And if you're, like we talked about, if you're constantly moving forward and you're only looking at your past to learn from the mistakes, it really is inevitable. Like you said, it's only a matter of time. It might not be next month. It might not be this year, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But also, it's not going to happen unless you prepare for the moment. So
Gotta put in the work.
It's just such a mental thing, right?
Yeah.
Because when it's not physically there, you have to act as if it is, because you need to grind towards it. You need to pretend that it's happening tomorrow. That's the only way it's going to come into your life.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, I'm human. You know what I mean? Some days it's like, but then at that moment, it's like, bro, just look at all the shit that you've done. Look at your power list. Look at this. Look at the steps. Look at where you were last week. Look, you're already ahead. Like, you're just frustrated because you're not there yet, but it doesn't mean you are inching closer. Relax, you know?
Yeah, life is a game of inches.
For sure.
That's how it is. And I mean, I was talking to someone about that earlier, how life is a game of inches. You can't just try to take long steps and just like shortcut and cheat. You have to, the inches that you gain within the small steps are crucial within the bigger picture, and the plan that you have, which is a huge plan. So those little inches are so crucial. What type of tour would you love to be on? What type of music do you enjoy dancing to the most?
I enjoy reggaeton. So definitely going to the Latin industry, because I love moving to the Latin industry's music. Artist is dear to my heart. Artist is just gonna be kept to myself, but definitely that realm.
Yeah. No, it's the best. I love that type of music.
Yeah.
I mean, it just sets your soul on fire.
Yes.
Like, there's nothing like it. Is that
There's nothing like a good Miami perreo.
Oh, no, 100%. I'm telling you, like, I'll go anywhere else, and, like, that's the only way I know how to dance. Like, I'm sorry, but this is what I do, and I do it very well, so, you know?
Exactly.
I don't want to say too much on the camera, but my motto is, if you throw it back, I'm going to catch it. I born and raised in Miami. What do you think?
Exactly.
But don't get me wrong, I'll throw some salsa in there too, some bachata, but like, that's the shit. Like, that's what we love. That's what we dance to. Family parties, that's what we listen to. It's in our blood. Like, it just hits different. Like, if I'm out in the club and I hear like rap is cool, there's lyrics, and I'll sing along and get hype. And, you know, like, house is house, but that Spanish is just different.
What?
Yeah, man.
For sure.
I love it. Shout out Santo. I gotta shout out Santo.
Hey.
You know, doing the thing out there every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Always lit. Best music out there.
Yeah, I was saying you love that place, huh?
I'm a big fan of Santo. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, I just feel like I know you're gonna get it done, because, you know, this is the plan of this Miami Hustle podcast as well, is we're gonna bring people back. We're gonna, you know, talk about where you were and where your mindset was at, and then what you did to basically, you know, get to the next episode, get to where you are now and what's next. And I feel like the next time I have you on is gonna be within 12 months.
For sure.
And I feel like you are gonna have a tour booked, and you are gonna come back on to tell us about the tour that you are booked and going on next week, type of vibe.
Oh, for sure. You know what? Solidified.
No, I'm telling
you.
In the
stars, written.
I feel it. I see it coming.
For sure.
How have you been preparing yourself for that moment?
So, obviously, aside from mentally, physically. So training, taking class, working out, and working on my stamina, because the tour life that I've heard, the stamina is no joke. And that's one of those things where you're doing a lot of numbers back to back. You have to be prepared for it.
Speaking of
gotta keep your energy up.
How's your diet? How's the diet of a dancer, actually? Because the carbs intake and the amount of calories you burn must be crazy.
Yes. So I have my Fitbit, so I track like my calories here, and I have been, when I first lost weight, when I was 19, like when I got that freshman 15 and I had to like lose a lot of weight, I started doing carb cycling, and that was a carb cycling on a caloric like deficit, But I kind of do carb cycling now, but at an average normal amount of calories, so where it's good for my body, and especially because I'm working out a lot. I burn a lot of calories. I burn max maybe 3,000 calories max.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It
a
is.
day.
You gotta drink a lot of water too.
I do. I drink a gallon of water a day.
The amount of sweat when it comes to dancing, that it's intense. Like I know I've said it a lot, but it is intense.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
For sure. And then I also don't want to burn through my muscles, so I have to make sure that I'm eating my carbs, and I'm getting my protein intake in. Even if it's at the end of the night, I'm like, I'll drink a protein shake because I need to get my protein intake in, you know.
True.
Yeah.
At what time do you try to wake up every morning?
So right now I'm on I'm doing a fitness program. So I'm waking up at 5 a.m. But I know, but I like the way this program is going because...
You're beating the sun. That's nice. That's
yes,
a good feeling. That's a
yes.
great feeling.
I finish my workout at 7 a.m., which... not in the perfect world, but before this, my routine would be to wake up at 7:38. So I've woken up and worked out and I've gone home and done all of this before waking up on my previous routine. So I already feel like a step ahead. I'm like, yeah.
100%.
So then I get straight to work. Instead of coming back home at 10:30, I'm at home at 7:30 in the morning. I'm home already, and I'm like working, you know. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
That's tough.
It's
not easy waking
No.
up. How do you wake up? Like, obviously, it's not easy, and you know, people
have
people have their little tricks. You know,
Okay.
some people like to set an alarm and then put their phone like walking distance away so that they have to get up out of bed. Did you used to do that, or how did you condition your mind to just wake up? Was it tough for you at first?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was never the type to put my phone far because part of my night routine is putting rain like on YouTube, like
Okay.
literally like black screen rain, and I like to have the phone right by me so I can hear it.
Got you.
So having it farther away over there, I'm not gonna hear my rain. You know what I mean? So like anything, having
Buy a little waterfall on your nightstand or something.
you know what I mean? I was like, I'm gonna have to get something for that noise so it could be far. But yeah, other than that, I have my phone right by me. But every good morning starts with a good night. So I make sure that my nighttime routine is good. So my whole room is dark. I have blackout curtains, and I used to have the plugins in the walls that have the Febreze, but they had a light in them. I took them all out. Like my room now is pitch black. I have the blackout curtains, and it's cold, so a cold room, and then my rain. And the way that I wake up is actually my light bulb is connected to my Wi-Fi, and it's I have it on a setting that it starts to wake at 4:45.
Okay, that's why I asked. That's a life hack right there. I didn't know about that, but that is a game changer.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was in like middle school, high school, my mom would always wake me up in the morning by simply turning on the light.
That's
and I
it.
would hate it. But I would always get up. I wouldn't go back to sleep. So how did you do that? You have it set up with your Wi-Fi, the light bulb?
Yeah, so it's a smart bulb. So you take out the light bulb and you put the smart bulb in, and then you download the app, you connect it through the Wi-Fi, and then you put it on your phone.
That's awesome.
Then I put like, so I put the circadian rhythm. So throughout the day, it starts dimming. So when I'm at my room by 10, 11 p.m., my room is dim. So it's already giving me the feel of like it's ready to go to bed. And then at 4:45, it starts to wake. So it doesn't just pop on.
Gotcha.
It starts getting red, like a sunrise. It starts getting red, then purple, then it brightens. So it's like I literally wake up amazing.
So I don't do the same thing with the light, but I do the same thing with the music in a way. So like I know a lot of times people have alarms where it's like extremely like loud and like abrasive, just like crazy, like someone broke into my house type of alarm. I stay away from those.
Yes.
What I do is I wake up to like reggae music.
Nice.
So like my alarm will be a soft like Bob Marley beat, like
love it.
Just like, you know, good vibes. That's how I like to wake up, and it definitely helps. Also, I love what you said about the way you have a good morning is if you have a good night. That's extremely important. That's why I asked you how do you wake up early, because I wanted to get into that too, like the importance of a good night. I was watching a podcast the other day, and this changed the way that I think about it, but it makes so much sense. And this is something that I struggled with, that I'm sure everyone out there struggles with as well, probably you too, is eating late night. Especially when you live alone, and especially when you have Uber Eats. So Uber Eats, game changer. Like, yo, when I was growing up, there was no such thing. So, you know, if you're hungry, you live with what you got. Sometimes you don't have too many snacks. Okay, it is what it is. But Uber Eats, it's crazy. It's too easy. It's too convenient. But anyways, the podcast that I was listening to explained that, like, you cannot, if you want to have a good morning, you cannot eat after 9 p.m. Your body is going to get hungry, but that's okay. Don't listen to your body all the time, because a lot of times people are struggling with addiction. So it sounds crazy, but you can be addicted to food. So what happens is your stomach starts to growl and gets hungry as if it's hungry, but it's not that it needs food. It's just hungry because it's used to. It's addiction. It's used to, like, I usually eat at this time. What's going on? Where is it? So what he explained is that, like, you have to empty your stomach after 9 p.m. because your stomach can't do two things. It can't break down food and recover, or your body can't do two things. It can't break down food and recover at the same time. It does one or the other. So what happens is, if you eat after 9 p.m. and then you go to sleep, you're going to wake up in the morning tired. You're going to wake up groggy, and you're going to wake up exhausted. But that's because throughout the whole night, your body was
digesting instead of recovering you for a good morning.
Yeah. So you think you're sleeping because your brain, I guess, is asleep and your eyes are closed, and that's cool and all, but your body is active.
Exactly.
So you wake up, especially if it's pizza, you know, or cookies, night out cookies. Yo,
shout out night owl cookies.
Shout out night out cookies. God damn, this is too good. I delete the Uber apps. Like, I deleted it because it's just like, cravings are real. But anyways, especially if it's that type of food, like high sugar, grease, all that, you're going to wake up feeling...
Those cookies are different.
Yo, magical, man. Like, with some... I don't even talk about it. So, but hey, shout out to them and doing their thing. But that type of food is going to give you the reaction of, you wake up feeling like shit, you wake up tired. But if you go to sleep with an empty stomach, it's life-changing. It is extremely life-changing, and you're going to wake up feeling light, you're going to wake up feeling energized, you're going to wake up like ready to take on the day. And that is the difference that like it changed for me, because it gets you to want to wake up with an empty stomach. And if you're hungry at night, just chug water, like, straight up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're gonna be up probably multiple times peeing, like, a lot.
At first, especially, yeah.
But I mean, whatever. Rather that than, like, waking up all groggy and stuff, for sure. Not for nothing, sometimes I do my workouts. Actually, most times I do my morning workouts fasted. So if I eat late at night, the next morning while I'm working out, I feel heavy.
Yeah.
I feel like, instead of being fasted and being like, oh, I'm already a step ahead, boom, you know what I mean? Like, I feel fasted, heavy.
You're working out your true core muscles, like, instead of you're working out, but like you said, you're feeling heavy because there's so much going on in your body at that point. If you have food inside you and you're working out, almost counterproductive sometimes.
For sure.
And how does it, like, what would you tell somebody in high school right now that was going through your situation, where they have so much passion in dance, but then their parents are also pushing them to go to school and study? What would you say to like the young women out there that aspire to be dancers, and they're just not sure what road to take or what they should do?
My advice would be, man, everybody's situation is different. Be smart about your choices. At the end of the day, it's not about rebelling against your parents. It's not that. It's about really being clear about what you want, and it's okay not to know what you want right out of high school. It's 1,000% okay for everyone all around. It doesn't matter, dance, not dance. It's fine. Do what you need to do in the meantime out of high school. Even if it was for me, listening to my mom to comply with her plans for my life, sure, but I didn't stop dancing. I didn't stop doing what I loved. So if there's an advice that I could give, is just to not stop. It doesn't matter what else you do to supplement it if you need to, but just don't stop. It's gonna help you in the long run, whether it be your movement quality, your network, your just having your face out in the industry out there, and to make your heart happy. Because at the end of the day, if dancing is what you love, I promise you, the moment you stop, you're gonna feel weird. You're gonna be like, for sure. As a creative, it's like you're itching to dance, to move, you know? So my only advice would be just don't stop. But be smart about it too. You don't have to rebel and be like, this is what I wanna do. But if you are, go all in and make it happen and prove it to yourself and then everybody else.
Yeah, got you. Shout out to everyone out there doing that because it's not easy. And I mean, well, speaking of that as well, it is Women's Month, so shout out to all the women out there. Personally, I think Women's Month, you know, Black History Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, it should be celebrated every month.
I'm about to say, it's people. It's people's day all the time.
Yeah, no, women are amazing. And as a woman, like, how does it feel to have your own business, do your own things, make your own moves, like women empowerment? How does it feel to inspire a bunch of women out there that, you know, maybe don't have that self-confidence, but then they look at Jasmine killing it out here, and then it's like damn, I want to be like her.
I feel honored whenever that happens, because at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not doing it because I'm a woman and this and that. It just comes with it because I am a woman. Like, it is what it is. But I also understand that there has to be more women leaders in an industry like ours, especially in Miami, just because in general, Miami it's craziness, but also in the dance industry in itself, we have to protect our women because, you know, some ladies might not know how to handle themselves in certain situations. And if I can teach them and empower them to speak up and know this is how you say this is how you can deny this, you don't do this, you know what I mean? I wish I had somebody to teach me. I had to learn the hard way on a lot of things. So if I could be that for other people, inspire you to do more, but then also teach you, like, this is what I went through. You don't have to, and I would love to protect you, but it's your choice, it's your life. Then by all means, but I'm honored. I am. There has to be stronger women out there because of Miami. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, no, there does. I agree with you. I think women, like, so, I mean, I'm a man, so I have just perspectives from it. Like, my take on it is women are truly amazing, because what they go through is not the same thing as what guys go through, and vice versa. I know guys have it a lot harder than some women, but we all live, you know, very different lives. So when it comes to a woman, like, I understand most people might say that women are more emotional than men, but at the end of the day, if you really think about it, emotions are the strongest thing a human could have, like,
it's
within
a superpower.
themselves. Yeah, emotions don't have to be a negative thing or don't have to be a bad thing.
For sure.
So to all the women out there, I would say, like, really, really, really focus on self-development and controlling your feelings and your emotions, because it is a very strong thing that could either take your life up or it can drag you down. So, and also, I'm a creator. I love creating. And I feel like as humans, we should dedicate more time and energy to creating. And that comes with just doing what we love as well, like our passion. But speaking of being a creator, like, women are the ultimate creators. Like,
life.
Exactly.
We create life.
They are. No, literally, they create life, and they are. Okay, so women create life, and they are the strongest emotional beings on this planet. When you put those two together, it's like women empowerment. It's a huge thing, but it's also very, very, very real. Like, it's extremely real, and women have a lot of power if they're able to just, I guess, understand, like, themselves and just follow their passion. I feel like if you're following your passion, you're going to be in a better place, like, mentally, no matter what's going on in your life. At least that's what happened to me. Like, every time I find myself being too busy in life and I'm not able to dedicate certain hours to my passion, I feel completely devastated. Like, it's not okay mentally.
Yep, exactly.
That's why I can't really fall into the just having a job. You know, like, just having an income to pay my bills is necessary. Everyone needs that. But I don't feel right if I'm not going after my passion, like my dreams. I feel like we're all here for a reason. Not just to be a worker.
Yep.
That's why, shout out to you again for following your dreams and your passion of dancing.
Thank you.
That is what you love. And I wish I could still be playing baseball, you know, out there in the sun, but life had other plans for me. But hey, I am just as happy out here on my balcony.
Yeah.
All these amazing people in Miami.
Hustling.
Exactly.
The
It's
Miami
all we do.
hustle.
It's all we know.
Hey.
Speaking of hustling in Miami, what does Miami mean to you?
What does Miami mean to me? Miami to me is a melting pot of you gotta grow up so fast. When you're here, it's like you're gonna learn hard, learn quickly, and learn from everybody. Like, it's a melting pot. You never really know who you meet here. Like, if there's one thing I could say about Miami is that the people that you meet here, you just gotta work on building your trust. And I say that because I was the type of person that I gave everybody the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise. When it's like, no, people, it's reverse. People need to earn your trust first. And I was really everyone has my trust until proven otherwise. And that advice I can give to you, you're gonna learn the hard way. Don't do that. So Miami to me means just a melting pot of lessons being thrown at you every day, and just making sure you pick yourself up after that happens. Just pick yourself up and just keep going.
Yeah, I think just being from Miami, like born and raised, I feel like it builds a lot of character.
Yeah.
There's so many other places that I've been to that it's just not the same. It's so different.
No.
Would you ever want to live anywhere else?
I can't imagine it. I mean, I feel like I wouldn't, like me, Jasmine, at 27 years old in Miami, I am who I am because of your environment, but I wouldn't be as far mentally maybe if I were to live anywhere else. I can't guarantee it because I don't know. I've never lived anywhere else, but I just know Miami gave me that push I didn't think I needed. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, I think because I've heard that living in other places, things are slower paced. People are nicer. You know, it is what it is. It's all these things you hear and you're like, wow, that must be so nice.
Yeah.
But it's just different. When you're here, it's like, that's all you know. All you know is the hustle, the grind, the fast-pacedness.
We live in a different world. You just got to have thick skin out here.
Yeah.
I feel like it is always good to be nice. Like, I preach, be as nice as you can to everyone all the time. But Miami's a place where, like, we don't really got time for that. We don't care about that. It's not something that, like, if you're in a small town, if you're shopping in Publix, somebody will probably start a conversation with you that'll last 20 minutes about the most random topic.
You know what I mean?
And it's nice. But, like, if we're in Miami and somebody tries to talk to you about a random topic for 20 minutes in Publix, like,
Can I help you?
Like,
Can I help you?
I can't. I gotta go. And even, like, I feel like some people, they might take that the wrong way, but, like, somebody from Miami will walk away from that situation and within 2 minutes they forgot that even happened because they're just on the go. Like, what's next? I got to keep whatever. But then someone else might think, like, the whole day might think, like, wow, that person at Publix was so mean to me. I wonder why. And it's just like, we don't got time for that.
No. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
For sure.
I love being from Miami. It's just that lifestyle, fast pace. I feel like that's why I feel like I'm always running out of time because there's so many moves being made out here. There's so many connections to be made. There's so many people that are doing things, and like that's what I love. Like I can't just stand still, especially in this beautiful city.
The opportunity is here and it's endless. Whereas I don't know how it is in other places, but I can guarantee that here there's always opportunity. There's always something going on. Always someone you can meet, always a connection you can make every day. Every moment is an opportunity.
I feel like I agree. I feel like because it's just different here in Miami. Like, okay, people say the American dream, right? You come to America for the American dream. But the way I see it is the American dream, it might be like America's dream, but it's Miami's reality.
Oh,
like you're coming to Miami it's the city of opportunity. You're coming here to make moves. You don't come here to retire and relax.
No.
You go to Naples,
You go to Boca. What is it? Boca por allá?
Yeah, somewhere up there. Casa Carabo.
Yeah.
Chill and relax.
Not Miami.
So yeah, that's to your point. Like you go there to get away from things. You come to Miami to be in the middle of everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's why when you're here, if you have the blessing of living in Miami, like if you're actually living out here, you gotta go. You gotta take advantage. Go outside, make moves. Like shake hands.
Yep.
Build connections. I was working at the Ritz-Carlton in Key Biscayne, and I was working valet, and this guy, he just had good conversation with me, and he liked the way I spoke, and he ended up giving me his business card. He ends up being the CEO of a major corporation that I don't want to say on camera right now, because hopefully he's going to be a guest on the show. But all of that through a conversation.
Right,
and
of course.
that conversation, again, to the people listening, this is so important. That conversation cannot happen if you are too focused on your phone. So when you're out in public, try to like challenge yourself to not pull out your phone. Like only pull out your phone if it's an emergency. Like look around you, and who knows who you're gonna meet. But don't be blinded from opportunity because of your phone. Like.
And another thing is at the end of the day, look, like we're all human, we're all people. So it's like, stop trying to think also, what can I get from people? Just establish that connection, just establish that conversation, because at the end of the day, you never know who you're speaking to. And if you do know who you're speaking to, that's another thing. Like, stop trying to think that you're trying to get something out of somebody. Like, just be cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're all people. We all want to hustle. We all want good things for ourselves. Everybody, not everybody, but the majority of people want a good life. They want a good life. They want to live good. So it's like, I think just don't take advantage of people. Be cool, be genuine, be normal. Talk to people.
Yeah, you have to be as genuine as possible to build the best relationships. Like you said, if you are only talking to someone because you want something out of them, it might not work out and it might not happen. But if you build a relationship with someone because you genuinely get along with them, then throughout the road you might find out that through that connection that you had a genuine conversation with, it led you to this amazing opportunity. Like, you have to be awake. You have to be aware. You have to move with an intention, like you said. Like, that's the only way you're gonna get anywhere in a place like this. Like, this shit is cutthroat. Like,
I want to circle back to Women's Month and Miami and making genuine connections. My ladies, I just got to tell you that there's people in Miami who might think that you're making a genuine connection, and I mean, you might think you're making a genuine connection because that's your intention, and they automatically think that you want something more with them. So that's sometimes the Miami mentality. Just move along. Just say, no, I don't want this, and keep it moving. That happens to that. You know how many times it's happened to me? I'll have a genuine conversation of interest because I'm like, oh, that's your business. Oh, this is cool because my mind is somewhere else. I'm trying to. Doesn't matter how I look. Like, bro, just be cool. And then all of a sudden the conversation goes left, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
No, I'm glad that you touched on that point, because I had just we wrapped up a podcast yesterday, and it was shout out to Emily and Amanda. They're two women out here in Miami and hustling, and they're just like you. They're super motivated. They're grinding. They're building themselves. They're building their business. They're building their brand. But they mentioned the same thing. Like, I can't relate, so I'm glad that I have you here, because when I'm trying to make business moves, I've never really been flirted with, but I can see like how pretty women that are trying to make business, they a lot of times deal with people flirting with them or not taking them as serious. So how do you guys, let's say, like, how do you deal with those type of situations?
Man, the situations can be different though, because it could be neither of them. They don't have to be flirting with you. They could very well play that they take you serious and not flirt with you at all. But then, like, let's say you schedule a meeting for something or whatever, and then you see them in person, they're like, oh no, well, it was actually this. You're like, oh my God, now I feel fucking trapped. What just happened? What did I, and then it gets you questioning as a woman. You're like, what did I do to make you think that? You know what I mean? But it's obviously you can't control what other people are thinking, but it does get, at least for me, it makes me question myself. I'm like, yo, how did I say it? What did I do? This and that. Then I start analyzing myself because I don't want that to happen again. I don't want to give people the wrong impression, But as far as handling it, just be firm with them. Just be like, okay. You're clearly, if they're coming at you like that, you're not the first one to reject them. It's fine. Keep it moving.
Yeah, just let it be known that I'm here for business.
That's it.
And I'm here for my brand. And
can I help you?
Yeah, like,
and that's
this has nothing to do with me talking to you because there's anything here. This is relationship, business. Let's keep moving forward.
For sure.
I feel like you have to have a strong backbone for that.
For sure.
Have you had a strong backbone, or is that something that...
It developed. Over time, it developed because... whatever, given like the way I was raised and stuff, it was just always, you need to be nice and you need to say yes all the time and you need to be a people pleaser and this and that, you know. So it was very hard being a people pleaser here in Miami because then people step on you. You don't really have a really strong backbone. So after experience, that's when I grew my backbone, where it's like, bro, don't take it personal. It's a no. What are you gonna do about it? No. And then I would have to learn to put my foot down, you know. I'm still learning that. You know, it's still something that, it's one of those habits where sometimes I'll go back and I'm like, no, I can't make this a habit. I need to make this a quality in me. And then, but even with qualities, you can lose habits, you can lose traits, you can lose the qualities. You need to continuously work at them. So I have to be intentional and remind myself at that moment, put your foot down, you know?
No, that's important. You always got to put your foot down.
Yeah.
When situations are like happening like that.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, I get you. You want to be respectful, you want to be nice, but you can be easygoing, but to an extent. Like, you got to know when to just put your foot down and tell people no. And I feel like that's where you earn respect as well. And that's where people probably want to work with you even more, because you're not easy to work with. Like, she will tell you no, and she'll tell you to go, like, fuck yourself. So you better, when you talk to Jasmine, you better be on point. And that's good. Like, that.
She's gonna ask you questions. She's gonna ask you what do you want, why, and what day and what time. And if you cannot put the pieces together, I'm not here to. You're asking me for something. I'm not here trying to put the pieces together for you. Like, come to me with all the answers.
Perfect. Exactly. Well, we're coming up on time, but of course, I always appreciate you coming by and inspiring all these people out here.
Thank you.
You are the definition of a hustler.
Thank you.
You also are a definition of someone that is following their passion, no matter what anyone tells them, even their family, even their parents.
Honestly.
And sometimes that happens, but your parents want the best for you, just like they want the best for me.
Yeah.
But you have to stay strong to your passion. So again, respect. Shout out to you. We're gonna have you back on. Hopefully soon. You're going to be telling us about the tour that you're about to go on, world tour.
For sure.
So can't wait for that.
Thank you.
And until next time, just keep hustling.
You got it, guys. If you need help with anything, again, like, honestly, my agency is, I do want to put...
where to find you.
Yes, I do want to put it on my socials. For me, it's fine. If you find me, you find me. If not, go to the abundanceagency.inc. That's our Instagram. I really do make sure that this agency is an agency that well represents our talent here. If there's any clients that I feel like I wouldn't want to work with, I don't put it out there for the work. It's not for the money. It's to keep the dancers protected, paid, respected, and paid very well. So we're working on that with the agency. So
perfect.
Follow
Shout out to the Abundance Agency.
Thank
and Jasmine
you.
Out here. Until next time.
See you guys.
The hustle continues.